Okay, Chloe Zhao, the only thing I've seen of hers is Nomadland she got nominated for, and now she's directing Eternals, because Disney always snatch up these indie directors with a little bit of flair, like Taika Waititi who's got flair, they snatch him up, say direct this, pump some life into it. The thing is with Chloe Zhao is, as an indie director, she fucking sucks, she's got no fucking style. Nomadland was made like a pretentious 16-year-old girl montage of a holiday, honestly. Nothing profound about her directing. Nothing profound about that fucking film. Perhaps even incompetent, just because, like, you just fucking copied a template of, like, a 16-year-old girl's vlog. She's probably competent, so I'm just gonna put her in bland. Imagine if she's utterly incompetent. It's like, what? I don't have a fucking... What do I copy for this superhero film? Honestly, because I get why, like, Disney recruit James Gunn, Taika Waititi and other people. But fucking hell, what the fuck? She got best director. That was best bullshit. I could have shot a better film. Anyway, I probably couldn't, you know. Just but Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan. You should all fucking know Christopher Nolan is. He's bloody probably the biggest director at the moment. Household name at this point, I think. A-list director. Can near enough direct anything he wants. Most recent film is Tenet, which, you know, I didn't really like that much. Interesting stuff going on. I think from the review I gave, you probably thought it was absolute shit. I think it's a good, flawed film. Like a 7 out of 10, kind of, if I'm rating it. But yeah, just a very flawed, interesting action film with bland-ass characters, but it's definitely something going on there. Fairly divisive director. A lot of people probably hold him in the genius bracket. Definitely not going in there. The Dark Knight is his best film for me. I think that's the closest he's ever come to a masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece. There's still flaws that just bug me with The Dark Knight. I'm always going back and just want to fucking absolutely adore it entirely, but there's stuff about The Dark Knight, just like plot holes and just dumb acting and dumb fucking things and super like Hollywoody, I don't know, just shit that I just don't want from someone like this, someone with this prowess. Just to help him fare on this, we can squeeze Inception in, because that was 2010 when we judge where he goes. Inception's probably second best film for me, maybe. Memento's really good, but that's way back then when. His 4 most recent films, Tenet, Dunkirk, Interstellar and The Dark Knight Rises. I've got a soft spot in my heart for The Dark Knight Rises, but I know it's very flawed for many different reasons. Dunkirk had the makings of a masterpiece in a lot of ways. There's some great stuff about it, but I don't know, there's just so much that he left out, and there's so much just like Nolanisms, like cheesy acting or cheesy lines or contrivances. He's still to make his masterpiece. Definitely not a genius. Interstellar, brilliant score though, fucking hell, Hans Zimmer. Interstellar, yeah, very sappy. One of the most stupid films he's ever done, probably. But there's some cool conceptual shit in there. Is he definitely competent? He's a bit like Ridley Scott. I think at least remarkable for Nolan. Because, like, Inception, it's a fucking great film, Inception. That's the thing, like, if you see certain of his films as, like, silly action films that are just elevated, like, with high concepts, it's hard. It's a balancing act, I guess. But when he tries to be, like, Kubrickian at the same time, I don't know. He can do it. He just needs to focus on one, really, when, you know, like, Tenet was like the most soulless of his films, I think, in terms of characters. Okay, Clint Eastwood. Maybe if we were judging him for 80s, 70s, or whatever, 90s, he would be in around here. Maybe even in Artaud, based on Unforgiven. Also did Outlaw Josie Whale, which is fucking awesome as well. But if we're judging him for his last few films, what was it? Sully, fucking bland as shit. Another, again, one genre I hate the most is biopics. Bland biopics that think they can just get away with a semi-interesting story and therefore direct it in the most bland way possible. American Sniper is obviously very bland and boring. Just a bland Middle East war film. The only reason I'd want to revisit American Sniper is because of what people said about it at the time. I was kind of too young to understand. People thought it was American propaganda, and Seth Rogen even compared it to the Nazi propaganda film from Inglourious Basterds, Nation's Pride. It's probably just super fucking simplistic that it accidentally became propaganda. It's just super fucking, oh man, we gotta do this. He did Mule, which I'm just not checking out. He's one of the directors, he's gotten old, he's lost his edge entirely. It's been a while since I watched $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino. They were pretty good films, they had something to them, but still fairly safe in terms of what the American audiences want. Fairly patriotic films in that way. Yeah, so I think he definitely goes in bland. Obviously he's a fucking badass, really, you know, he's in Spaghetti Western, he's fucking Clint Eastwood, but, you know, at least he's still going, at least he's still working. I think Don't Blame the Pilot Baden mentioned that, like, fucking hell, he's still going, so good on you fam. Oh, speaking of Don't Blame the Pilot, Baden. Next up are the Coen Brothers. Baden doesn't like the Coen Brothers. Baden from the Don't Blame the Pilot podcast. I don't really want to speak for Baden. He said he was sick of seeing all those video essays about that scene where he's in that store and he's like, oh, the coin toss. Which is a good scene on its own. It's still a really good scene, despite how much people spam it. It's like these opening of Inglourious Bastards. Like, that's been spammed in video essays, but, you know, it's still a fucking brilliant scene. I think that the Coen Brothers are the best brothers. The best brother-director duo. I think they're fucking great for the most part. I don't really have a grievance with them. Of that genre of very famous and stylish directors, I think they're the most consistent. I think they're more consistent than Tarantino in terms of like perfecting the film, not making it too long or indulgent. So going off the last decade, we've got Inside Llewyn Davis from 2013, which is a fucking great film. Perfect fucking film. Brilliant film. One of their best films. Fucking love it. Different enough from all the other great films that they've done. I fucking love Fargo as well. Big Lebowski's awesome. Hail Caesar was made in 2015, I think, and that was one of their weaker films, definitely. I can't remember much about it, and I don't know, I was quite young again. It's probably, like, decent, got interesting stuff, but definitely a miss for them. Ballad of Buster Scruggs, however, which came out in 2018, coinciding with the release of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I was playing Red Dead 2 when that came out, and I was super immersed because it's like a extended immersive game, that Red Dead 2. And I remember Ballad of Buster Scruggs being an amazing companion piece to Red Dead 2. Just fucking fits so well, just brilliant synchronicity. But still, on its own, Ballad of Buster Scruggs is a really good film, really strong film. I haven't rewatched it for a while. I think there's a solid thematic through line, really good western, goofy western, bit more cartoonish and surreal, but still a really cool western. But yeah, it was an anthology film, and for anthology films, it's probably the best I've seen. But yeah, fucking super enjoyable. I'll rewatch it soon. So by that criteria, where do the Coen Brothers go? Honestly, if this was the 90s or 2000s, they'd be right up in here. But for now, fucking definitely Artur. I think they're directors to be remembered forever, but still, yeah, definitely Artur's. Damien Chazelle. Damien Chazelle's a very good example of a contemporary director, an up-and-coming fairly. His first film, I believe is his first film, Whiplash, which I think is to this day his best film. Whiplash is a masterpiece. Fucking just, yeah, brilliant. I think a lot of people have seen that, but yeah, just rewatch Whiplash. If you've seen it already anyway, just fucking rewatch it. If you haven't, go check it out. Add it to your fucking watch list. One of the best fucking films of the last decade. Just brilliant, fucking masterpiece. If that was his first film, that's really impressive. Then he did La La Land, which I know everyone loved, everyone revered. Not quite as good as Whiplash. Not a masterpiece, definitely not. Not perfect, not something that, like, inspires awe in me, but still a solid film. And I watched it fairly recently, maybe like a year ago. The first time I watched it, I thought it was like a romanticisation, like a nostalgia, going back in time to 50s Hollywood or whatever, that musical era. But really, there's a lot of de-romanticisation, a lot of exposing the more darker sides of it, more ordinary, mundane, or like kind of crude stuff about the industry. So it wasn't like a huge deep dive or anything, but still a good film. First Man, however, was kind of like an artistic rendition of Apollo 11 whole thing, mainly focused around, obviously, fucking Neil Armstrong. Strong fucking film. Bleak again, like it didn't necessarily end on a happy note because his family separated in real life after all that. And it is like, it has that ending that La La Land had where it's just like, well, no, it's not really going to be a-okay. This isn't a satisfying resolution, it's a resolution, but it's just how it is. It's like grandiose because he's in space, it's like, oh, he's huge, but like at the end of the day he lost his daughter and that has just completely fucked him up, and no feat can really, yeah, I'm getting into the film. But yeah, very strong film still. Probably, again, maybe his weakest, but still, I'm looking forward to hearing about what next project he's doing, because he definitely shouldn't stop. He's got a lot more in him, it seems. So what does that make him now? You know what? Fuck it, he's an Artur, because, you know, Whiplash. Look how young, fucking hell, look how young he looks here. He looks like fucking, he looks younger than me. Look at that fucking bum fluff there. Right, and he's made Whiplash and La La Land and First Man, and those aren't fucking simplistic films. Those aren't like fucking Chloe Zhao making a 10-minute fucking vlog. Nomadland, directed by Shane fucking Dawson, more like. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, definitely, he's an Artur, he's a fucking looking out. Imagine I don't know, he's probably like 50, because they always like surprise you how old they actually are. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, next one. Danny fucking Boyle. Alright. Now, you might be confused where I stand with Danny Boyle, but I think he is perhaps the best British director, maybe the best British director of all time, at least among them. I keep saying of all time this episode, this tier list episode ranking. video. Perhaps the most visually expressive British filmmaker. The first Trainspotting film is a flawless masterpiece. One for the ages film. Does not overstay its welcome at all. It's a very short film, relatively speaking, but absolutely just fucking hell, gets so much told. He's made films like 28 Days Later, Slumdog Millionaire, so just completely contrasting films, which I love to see in artists and directors. When they make this like amazing film, and they make this completely different film, it's also like substantial, great. Like 28 Days Later is a great zombie film and unique, and it adds to the genre of zombie films or infection films. I love the directors where you can line up all of their different works and you can kind of, each one of them could be someone's favourite film of all time for completely different reasons. And these are not like made masterpiece after masterpiece. Sunshine I was a bit mixed on. Definitely interesting though. More recently he directed Steve Jobs in 2015, which is a really, really solid film. Kind of underlooked probably because there was like a Steve Jobs film that came out a couple of years before it, but that's the best Steve Jobs film. It's the only fucking Steve Jobs film I've seen. That's fucking brilliant. That's Michael Fassbender in it as well. But yeah, Aaron Sorkin wrote that, and I got reminded of that in the Don't Blame the Pilot podcast. Aaron Sorkin wrote it, Danny Boyle directed it, just brilliantly directed, always visually expressive. Then he did T2 Trainspotting in 2017, which when I first saw it, I didn't like it at all, really. Rewatched it recently. I think it is a flawed masterpiece. I think it is so close to being a brilliant film, not quite there. It didn't connect with everyone like the first Trainspotting did, but in terms of, it's a brilliant sequel. There's still like thematically so much going on and so much nuance. I think he's a real fucking artist for doing that. He went back for artistic reasons. Yeah, I fucking love T2 Trainspotting now. But yes, and again, visually expressive to the fucking high heavens. But then even more recently, he directed a film called Yesterday, which is about the Beatles if the Beatles never existed, and a struggling musician who's the only person in the world who remembers the Beatles. He decides to capitalise of it and pretend that he wrote these songs and they're all new to everyone. It's a Richard Curtis script, I believe, and Richard Curtis is a British screenwriter who does write ridiculously broad and corny movies, but for the most part, most of Britain lets him off. I'm not sure, because Love Actually, like, fuck it, he's just like there. Everyone holds him a bit higher, but his stuff is so fucking like schmaltzy. And yeah, Richard Curtis's script is the worst part of fucking Yesterday, and that's what makes it bland and just fucking ordinary as shit. Also, there's this like Ed Sheeran and the woman from Saturday Night Live's in Yesterday as well, and she's not good. I wanted to see like an artistic, intimate Danny Boyle kind of depiction of England, because he just gets England down so well, and there's bits of Yesterday that I like that, but for the most part it's a broad film, and Danny Boyle shouldn't be making films like that, and if he is, he's got to fucking take over and make it like a fucking, just at least a great film. But yeah, you want to see more from someone like Danny Boyle. Because Yesterday was a weird film for me, because it was like it was teetering on the line between what genuine and like corny, and I'm guessing it was like a constant battle between Danny Boyle's authenticity and fucking Richard Curtis' smolchy shite. Richard Curtis, if you don't know, he I think he wrote and directed Love Actually. He wrote Four Weddings, and he wrote just all these British classics. Notting Hill, I haven't seen Notting Hill. Just like Hugh Grant vehicles that British people for some reason place like on a higher level, even though like anyone else from another country is like, that's fucking broad. Love Actually is like some fucking ridiculously coked up machine of pandering to the British fucking culture. It's ridiculous. It's almost funny just for that, like, fucking hell, like, fuck you, Richard Curtis, come on, like, it's almost a big fucking laugh. You know, every fucking British actor's in it. Oh, okay, but anyway, where does Danny Boyle go? Even though he's not utilising his craft as much as he should be with the project he's done, I want to fucking put him there. I don't know, it's something about him, like fucking Trainspotting, and Trainspotting 2, which is this understated fucking work of art. And then like 28 Days Later, he's just done so many fucking different kinds of... Okay, 127 Hours, I'm not sure if I was big on that. He still kind of makes you fairly like accessible films for like normies though. You shouldn't be doing that. But it's weird that I feel so compelled to put him there. Maybe I have to just like punish myself here and put him in fucking Artaud, but fucking hell, like really, he should be making more fucking masterpieces. He should. The thing is with him, it doesn't need to be a masterpiece to be a great film. It's a weird thing. He's just got such a personality. Anyway, next up, Darren Aronofsky. Darren Aronofsky directed Black Swan in 2010, Requiem for a Dream in the early 2000s. Those are his two best films. Fucking more near masterpieces. Brilliant films. I love Black Swan. More recently directed Noah in 2014, which I haven't seen because it looked boring and bland, and apparently it was. And 2017 he directed Mother, which was fairly pretentious, and he kind of made it worse with like the marketing narrative, because he just came out and said, oh, it's about the Bible, it's like proper deep. I was like, well, it's obviously about the Bible. Doesn't make it profound, but if you kind of go in yeah, it's a fucking weird ass Bible retelling. It's a pretty cool film, fucking crazy, definitely not bland. He's still got it. By all accounts, he's an auteur. If we were judging him like in 2010 when he just made Black Swan, he said, okay, you got Black Swan, you got Pi, you got Requiem for a Dream. Like, fuck yeah, you're a fucking guy. Over The Wrestler as well. He's an auteur. He's working on something else, but I think he's just gotten full of himself now. Nah, fuck it. You can't easily throw fucking Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan under the rug like that. Next one, David Ayer, should be pretty easy. Okay, David Ayer is a director, by the way. David Ayer directed End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena, Penis. He directed Fury with fucking Brad Pitt and all them. And then, so he made two decent films, and then he said, oh, then they brought him on, and guess what he directed next? He directed fucking Suicide Squad, 2016 Suicide Squad, which is fucking one of the worst, incompetent, big budget films ever made. So yeah, he should kind of be punished for that. Where the fuck does he go? It's been a while since I've watched End of Watch and Fury, but from what I can remember, I'm pretty sure that it wasn't so much his direction that did it, but mostly it was elevated by the actors, because the performances in those films are good. But he's probably definitely competent. Also, a lot of the reasons why Suicide Squad, the 2016 film, was as shite as it was because the trailer company took over the editing, and they absolutely like hackneyed up. They were like, oh, it's a trailer, it's a big an hour and a half trailer. They absolutely fucked it up to like some like abomination of a film that we'd never seen before. So it's kind of interesting in that way. But I'm not sure. I'm not going to watch Mute because it looks fucking boring. Everyone said it was shit. By what I've just described, he could go in talented, but I feel like he's not going that way. It's almost weird, like, because he could go in incompetent for fucking Suicide Squad. But maybe, I don't know, you can't imagine Suicide Squad being, like, saved through another editing cut. Bland. That's the thing. It's fucked. Why do directors do this? Should we put him in... It's hard. It's fucking hard. Are we allowed to do, like, this? Because he's both this, and that at the same time. Because, like, End of Watch and Fury, I mean, they weren't, like, the fucking amazing films, but, like, you need some, like, fucking thing to get, like, an ensemble to do that. But then again, I might watch Fury again recently. It might be fucking boring as shit and bland. My friends have been nagging me to rewatch Fury. They keep going, you know what, we should watch Fury. It's like, who gives a shit about Fury? It was 2014. If you're watching a war film with Brad Pitt, it's going to be Inglourious Basterds, motherfucker. Anyway, they just love... These, my three mates, man, fucking love Fury. They think it's, like, the best fucking Citizen Kane. I think it's brilliant. Like, I watched Saving Private Ryan, I get that. That was culturally significant. But Fury, it's just like some tank stuff cool. Maybe we should watch Fury. Where do I put David Ayer? End of Watch, Fury. Okay, let's just fuck Suicide Squad off and just judge him for End of Watch and Fury. But the talented bracket implies they're going to be moving up and having potential. Shall we just put him in bland just to like split the difference, and let's say he's not completely irredeemable. The way I word this is going to be awful, but he's not completely irredeemable. He could be on the same level of Bryan Singer if he wanted to. David F. Sandberg. You might know David F. Sandberg. You might have seen this guy around because he's a YouTuber, David F. Sandberg. He's a YouTuber. He's a filmmaker who has a YouTube channel where he teaches people about filmmaking, what it's like, and it's very insightful. It's brilliant. I think he's a really nice guy, it seems. The only film I've seen of his is Shazam, which I believe he made better from all the things he brought to that. I really enjoyed Shazam. I thought it was just a really nice, wholesome movie, especially in the superhero landscape. Not bland at all, just a nice fucking... It was a fucking movie, you know what I mean? It was just a fucking... It had its own thing going on. Fucking just... It was a warm-ass... You know, but it wasn't boring, had real characters. Yeah, David F. Sandberg, he's going and talented. He's a nice-ass guy. Well, I hope I meet him one day. Okay, here we go. David Fincher. David Fincher getting another fairly household name in directing. He directed Seven in the 90s. He directed Fight Club in the 90s, which are two very, very strong films. Just right off the bat, Fight Club is a fucking classic for most people. Everyone thinks it's a fucking masterpiece. I've seen all of his films apart from Benjamin Button. Directed Panic Room, which I'm not so big on, but that's irrelevant for this. Most recently, he directed Mank in 2020, which I really liked. I think I did a review, so you'd know. Flawlessly done and on a technical level. He is the creative director for Mindhunter, which is one of the best shows on Netflix right now. He's such a good fit for these serial killer stories. I don't know why Mindhunter hasn't blown up, because it should be like fucking Stranger Things tier. It should be like next to Stranger Things on that big recommended bar. It's the best criminal serial killer related content on Netflix. Because all the other shit's just kind of just following trends, you know, whatever. But Mindhunter's fucking David Fincher doing his best. Because David Fincher did Zodiac as well. So just fucking... yeah, Zodiac's fucking lit as well, to be fair. So 2 great seasons of Mindhunter he's done that came from his artistic lens, flare thing, whatever. What his fucking... his artistic eye. He also set the directing style for the House of Cards. He did the first 2, and that usually means that it's his style that's being used for the whole show. So the style of House of Cards comes from him, which was a great show in its genesis. Earlier in 2011, he did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which was also really good, really strong, endlessly competent. And then he did The Social Network, which I'm pretty sure is my favourite film of his. So if we're judging by that he's got it. He was a great director. He's still a great director. He was one of the best directors of all time, and he's still one of the best directors of all time. I think this is fucking... fuck Finch. He's going in genius tier. His worst film was his first one, which was Alien 3. The studio bent him over because he was just a kid or something. He was like a 15-year-old, and they just fucked him. They just bent him over the table and fucked him. Said, "Give me the alien." Tried to impregnate him with the alien because some of them thought that what they were depicting in the films are real. Next up, David Lowery. What the fuck? Right, this might be a fake picture. This might be a troll picture. He directed The Green Knight. He has potential, but nothing particularly astonishing at the moment. I did like The Green Knight a fair bit, but fairly similar to other A24 films in terms of style. Oh, he did Ghost Story as well, which, you know, was well directed, definitely talented. Bang, I need to hurry up a bit because fucking hell, I just realised how long we've been going for, an hour and fucking 40 minutes. We've still got fucking more than 60 to go.